Mathematics includes numbers, operations, patterns, and word problems, a subject that deeply relates to everyone's everyday life. It doesn't only help us think logically and critically, but also creatively. Numbers are not all there is to in math. As Arthur Benjamin once said, mathematics is the science of patterns. You can find these patterns not only in our test papers, but also in nature. Our nature, which is very beautiful in its very own randomness and predictability. Math is everywhere. Math is around us. Here you will learn about how math is related to folk dance, which is an integral part of Philippine culture.
Did you know that patterns are everywhere? Well, I didn't, but when I realized that they are, I started noticing them immediately, even in the places that most people don't think they would be. One example of that is dance, or to be more specific, Filipino folk dance. People will say that the steps of the dance is considered a pattern. Well, yes, it is because it is a repetitive motion. But what most people don't realize that there are other aspects of dance that also has a pattern. Well, one of those is the music that they use. For example, in tinikling, one aspect of this is their positions, movements, or blockings. A good example of this is the dance subli. In most subli dances, there is a pattern that is similar to the Fibonacci sequence, where all but one pair would stop dancing, and then after a sequence of steps, more and more pairs would join the dancing pair until every single pair is dancing. The other aspect is the music used in these dances. The patterns or the beats and rhythms of these music help the dancers perform. One good example is the tinikling. Without the patterns in the music, the dancers wouldn't know when they should go. Another aspect would be the music used in these dances. The dancers use the music as a cue to when they should start moving or stop moving. One great example of this is the music used in tinikling. Without the beat, the dancers won't know when they should tap the poles together or tap the bamboo poles on the floor. It also helps the other dancers to know when they should hop or stop. To sum it up, without these patterns, dances would not look as good as they do now.
A crucial part of architecture which pertains to application of geometry, algebra, trigonometry, and other math forms to plan blueprints.
Moving on to another topic is the beauty of structures here in the Philippines. Have you wondered where all of the establishments became as perfect and well built as they are? In fact, how they are even created. Symmetry, logarithms, and coordinate geometry all play a vital role in architectural design. Architects use these math types to prepare their blueprints or original sketch designs. They also measure the likelihood of problems that the construction team might face as they bring the design vision to life in three dimensions. From centuries of colonization, our nation have enriched and adopted the beauty of architecture from all over the world. The premises are the proofs of hard work and intelligence that became spots for tourist attraction. This is all about mathematics, the precise measurement of each block that makes a whole direct work of art. One famous architectural design we have here in the Philippines is Intramuros in Metro Manila, or also known as the walled city of Manila. A 67-hectare of land that is filled with walls and with histories of our culture in time of the Spanish era. It is a nostalgic place where every sceneries and structures brings you back to the old days. Its two churches became a well-known and aged structure that has a lot of embedded design, from the carvings of the pillars to the walls that represent what heaven might be. Actually, there are a lot of architectural designs we have here in the Philippines that represents who we are and how far we have gone through.
And lastly, music wherein the beauty of rhythm is appreciated not only in our country but also to the whole world.
When we put these sounds together, we get harmonies, chords, melodies, songs, and now Matt is making music. And whether that music makes you get up and dance, or sing the blues, or feel truly transcendent, that's no coincidence. It all starts with a vibration. The drummer strikes the drum and make it vibrate, which makes the air vibrate, which makes your eardrums vibrate, and your mind does the rest, translating those vibrations into beats and tones. Whether these vibrations come from a drum, a reed, or a string, we hear them as musical notes. Each instrument vibrates in a unique way, with unique mix of frequencies that comes from its shape and materials, from the mat that tells it how to move. You may think music and math may be separate, but it has not always been this way. In ancient Greece, music was combined with arithmetic, geometry, and astronomy in a liberal arts package later called the quadrivium, the fourfold way. Plato believed these four disciplines allowed us to study numbers and patterns in different ways. Just as geometry lets us see patterns in space, music lets us hear patterns in time. The most basic connection between music and math is rhythm. If we start with a steady beat and add another as twice as fast, and add another as twice as fast as that, we get 4 beats per measure. On the other hand, 3 beats per measure gives the familiar rhythm of a waltz. Maglalatik folk dance as well goes with the rhythmic performance as the performers tap in their costumes containing coconut shells as their musical instrument or prop. It is an interpretative dance that shows that of a mock war over coconut meat. Maglalatik is often performed during the religious procession of the fiesta in Binyan as an offering for the patron saint of farmers, San Isidro de Labrador. In Philippine culture, rhythm and music is utilized by those performing folk dances. An example would be the infamous tinikling, whereas two persons handles the bamboo used in their performance and persons in the bamboo dancing. The most common patterns of rhythm for this folk dance would be two consecutive taps of bamboo on the ground and clapping it together once and repeat. It's your intuitive connection to the notes and the relationships between them, the ratios and rhythms and patterns that excite our minds and move our hearts are the same harmonies we find in subatomic particles and the motions of planets and stars. Music and math lets us hear and see the patterns all around us, the elegance and wonder of the world. When you come up with a new melody or find a new pattern in math, we are using the same parts of our brains and feeling the same feelings.
With various contributions from all over the world and throughout the years, mathematics continuously grows and help us understand the world. It gives us a way to understand and appreciate patterns, relationships, and the future. Mathematics helps us in understanding the world, and we use the world to understand math.